get out!
Hello tankers and tankettes, welcome to a viewer spotlight video, and this one has been sent in to me by MrOfficer. He's in his T29, he's top tier, which is very nice, and let's just take a moment to look at the tanks on each side. Holy IS and T29 party, Batman! Apparently everyone was just playing those tanks on that particular day. Anyway, he's top tier, but he's also bottom tier because it's all tier 7s, and that's always interesting when it happens. That it changes the gameplay somewhat. But another thing to note is there's no artillery, and that's going to be important because you will have seen and heard that the American heavies, tier 7, 8, and the T34 as well, and also the T30, they're excellent hull down machines, and you might be thinking to yourself, what exactly does that mean? What does well, you're about to see a practical demonstration of quite why these are such good hull down machines, why that strong turret can be very, very troll in a matchup like this, and why, even though the turret is very, very troll, you still need to, you know, employ some brain power. But yeah, all them T29s, all them ISs. So there's a whole bunch have gone to the valley. There's a single KV3 on the middle road, and there's, I think, 4 heavies on the other flank. So normally it would be a case of a couple of tanks holding up the valley, but I think basically we need the other team to also mostly be in the valley, because otherwise the guys in the city are going to get overwhelmed. Now, MrOfficer knows what to do in T29. He's being cautious here. He knows his hull is the vulnerable point. He knows his turret is the strong point, which, let's remember, it's I can't remember the exact stats, but it's strong, and it's got a really incredibly strong gun mantlet as well. So he's being cautious, but he's not being too shy about showing his oh no, that American accuracy. He's not being too shy about showing his turret. You know, the gun on this thing, the American guns generally are not fantastically accurate guns, at least at these tiers. It gets a bit better when you get to the higher tiers, but still. So, yeah, he's also being able to make use here of the really good gun depression. And that one went into the gun mantlet, I expect. The T25 too has not really got great armour, but it's got a pretty decent gun mantlet. There's another nice target. Unfortunately, just moved. Don't worry, it gets better. But yeah, sometimes it's like this, playing sort of hold down peekaboo. Now that 87, again, gun accuracy is so fantastic. That 87 is not in a good space here, a good place, because he's got that commander's cupola just sticking out the top of his tank, and it's one of those situations where everyone's going to see that coming over the hill before the rest of the tank, and it's the least armoured part of the frontal tank. Now that was interesting. I wonder if he killed a crew member or something, because it did actually go in the gap, between the yogurt pot lid and the turret, as it were. But here we go. We're getting some bounces now, and he's being sort of relatively cautious, but he's looking to take shots. And there is actually, thankfully, quite a lot of the enemy team on the other side of the valley. So in that regard, he was lucky. In that regard, the whole team was lucky. The tanks in the city are relatively matched. KV3 and the T43 in the middle are facing an IS. So actually, it has worked out that the greatest concentration of tanks are kind of facing each other. So there we go, that was a nice shot in, not at the T25 turret at least. The IS behind him is being a bit of a dick, basically. That's something you never do. You never block somebody in a tank from being able to pull back like that. Fortunately, he's moved, and to be fair, okay, he's looking for a shot, but with the IS gun depression, you know, you let the tanks with good gun depression take the fall. If you're struggling with gun depression, then there you go, somewhere else. Now that one actually hurt MrOfficer, but that was into the hull, so that's the gun depression on this is good, but that's kind of the risk, is if you're pulling too far forwards, basically they can shoot your upper front plate, and even shooting at the angle there. Now that That one, I'm pretty sure, I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, but I think that one was the commander's cupola. Actually, yes it was, you can just about see it. That is the only real vulnerable point on... well, I say the only vulnerable point, it's not the only vulnerable point, but it's the one most people know about on the T29 turret. And it's quite difficult to hit, so most of the time you're going to be okay, but just sometimes it's going to be hit. So it's not... You're not completely invulnerable in this position, but you have to be somewhat careful. Look, this 87's just... He knows he's had it, so it was just right script. Now, that's 3.2k damage so far. It's a pretty decent gun when you can actually hit stuff. It wasn't quite reloaded in time for that guy. That was another one in the hull. There we go, he's going for the other commander's hatch on his T29 counterpart, but that one just missed, unfortunately. So he can take out that T25-2 if the T25-2 will let him. He has taken a fair few hits in the process, but the number of bounces he's had on his turret, and you'll be able to see from his potential damage received. I mean, you know, I've seen battles with better, but my personal best for bouncy turret was a horrible draw on Kampinovka in my STI, and I had some ridiculous amount, just because there was no artillery and I was hull down the entire time. They just could not pen my turret at range. But it was a fairly terrible match otherwise. But I just wanted to show you guys this replay because it is a very good demonstration of what hull down means exactly, and why it's a useful tactic, and why you need gun depression to be able to pull it off. So, can he... oh, yes, there we go. That time that connected. It's a pity I can't show you the... When I obviously will do the... I'll do the screen grabs at the end of the thing, you'll be able to see the number of ding marks on his turret front. But, yeah, they're there, believe me. So, we've won this now, basically. There's two... Tiger P and the T29 that are coming up round behind them. There's an IS in the middle of the enemy team, but the rest of them are basically all bottled up in the valley, and they've basically had it at this point because we've got enough tanks here. And MrOfficer, he's done 4k damage. That's pretty respectable. It's a fair old whack of damage, 4.4k now. And he's not been the only one doing damage, but it's still... I think I'm right in saying he's out ahead in front with that figure. Boom. Yeah. So, hold down. This tank, there's the T32, like I said, the T34 is good at it, the T30, the STI to some extent. There are other tanks with good gun depression that have very weak turrets, like the ARL-44, where you can sort of be... You can use the gun depression to your advantage. That's almost 5k damage now. You can use the gun depression to your advantage, but it's very much more kind of peekaboo play style. You're not... you don't have as long to sit and aim. You're basically having to pop out and just shoot stuff where you can, because your turret is very weak, and you just, if you sit there, you're going to get penned all day long. I mean, the T29, this was an ideal situation for a hull down T29. There was no artillery. The fact that there was no higher tiers helped. It was just... that was an absolutely... I can't think of a better way to show you guys what hull down means and why hull down is powerful. I mean, obviously you can do stuff in a training room, but still. So, yeah, steel wall and cool-headed. He got... yes, I was right in saying that. 242 damage, which was double the damage anyone else did. He had 1700 raw XP, which is very nice. That translated as 2600 XP with premium for a daily double of over 5000 XP. Bear in mind, this wasn't any special event, that was just his daily double. And the amount of credits he got out of that was pretty nice as well. It was 42k profit, and that was after ammunition costs of 31,000. So how much potential damage received was that? 7,100 110, and that's pretty respectable for a machine that has, God, I can't even remember, but it's a number of hit points. I will put it on the screen. It's some, that's got to be about 6 or 7 times the number of hit points that the T29 actually has. I've said something with numbers there. I sense trouble, but who knows? It might work out. Who knows? Anyway, I realise this wasn't the most action-packed replay, but it demonstrated that particular technique and that particular strong point of that style of American Heavy very, very well, I thought. So hopefully you found this video more, I don't know, more informative than entertaining. I think I was going for this time round. But if you did enjoy it, you can hit the like button, you can leave a comment, you can subscribe to my channel, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.